Hey everyone, welcome to week 12 of the Wild Woman Yoga series. I'm Lexi, and our theme for class today is create. So it's going to be a slow flow, get into something comfortable, something that's not too constricting, so you can move freely and no props. Just get your mat, and I will meet you back here. So we're going to start just in an easy seat. Any position that feels comfortable for you, maybe placing the ankles one in front of the other, finding some length in the spine from the base of the spine all the way to the top of the head, as if someone had a cord attached to the top of your head and was just pulling lightly, elongating the spine, and bringing the hands to rest on the tops of the knees, palms facing up or down. And beginning to deepen the breath. Maybe taking the deepest breaths that you've taken today. And tuning into the body. Noticing where your sit bones make contact with the floor beneath you. The temperature of the air on your skin. And the subtle movement of your shoulders and chest as you breathe. And maybe beginning to tap in to the vastness of the space within you. Your internal landscape. And maybe imagining this river of creative energy that flows inside of you. And really connecting with that element of water, fluidity, power. Whether you identify as creative or not, you are always creating. You're co-creating your life. You're being creative in every decision and choice that you make. And even here on the mat where there was nothing, you create with your body and your movement. And if identifying with creative energy is something you struggle with, maybe utilize this practice to affirm to yourself that you are creative in every movement and every breath. Take a deep breath in and exhale, just let it go. You can open and close the eyes a few times, letting light back into your eyes. And we're going to start the flow in a tabletop position. So you can plant your hands on the right side of your body, coming up onto the hands and knees with your wrists under the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. And we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, looking forward, dropping the belly. Exhale, tucking the chin and pelvis, rounding in the back. Inhale, look up, drop the belly. Exhale, rounding in the back and shoulders, tucking chin to chest. Inhale, looking forward, dropping the belly. And exhale, rounding. And doing a few more at your own pace. Syncing breath to movement. Taking it slow. Do one more. And after your next inhale, move your hands maybe one step forward, bringing them a little ways out in front of you. And as you inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, and exhale, pushing back into child's pose. You may need to play with the position of your hands. Inhale, coming up to tabletop, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding and pushing back into child's pose. Inhale, come up, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, and exhale, pushing back. A few more at your own pace, let it flow. Inhale, coming up, dropping belly, lifting chin. Exhale, pressing back. And finding your own organic movement with this pattern of breathing. Releasing any rigidity. And just allowing the breath to flow and move your body smoothly. As if the breath was animating you. Maybe closing the eyes. And really just feeling into the movement. Do a couple more. And on your next inhale, stay up on your hands and knees. And as you exhale, lowering down onto the belly. And finding yourself on the belly, coming up onto your forearms, palms pressing into the mat, forearms close to the body. For a moment in Sphinx pose, just drawing the shoulder blades together, broadening in the front chest, and lifting the chin, pressing into the pelvis and tops of the feet, and grounding. And then lowering the chest onto the mat, bringing the hands on either side of the rib cage and pressing back into child's pose. From here, we're going to find some flow in the transition from child's pose and back down onto your belly. So as you inhale, come up, and exhale, lower down to the belly. You can drop the forehead. Inhale, pushing up, and exhale, pressing back to child's pose. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, pressing down to the belly, dropping the forehead, and maybe keeping the feet separated, allowing for a little bit more freedom of your movement. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press back. Inhale, come up. And exhale, press down to the belly, drop the forehead. Inhale, come up. Doing a few more at your own pace. And resting either on your belly or in child's pose if you want, or continuing to move. Maybe taking one more round. And then coming to rest on the belly. Bringing the head to rest on one side and your arms to rest on either side of you, palms facing up. And if you're resting on the left cheek, switch to the right, or vice versa. And then bringing the forehead to the mat. And on an inhale, you're going to lift the forehead and slightly lift the chest, pushing the shoulder blades together once again. And exhale, bring the forehead to the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. Next, inhale and lift the right foot as well. Right foot and leg off the mat. Exhale, lower everything. Inhale, lift the chest, forehead, and left foot and leg. Exhale, lower. And then alternating your legs. So inhale, lifting the chest, right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting the chest and left leg. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale, lower. Continuing one more round, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And if you wish, you can inhale, lift the chest and both legs. Pausing briefly at the top, pressing into the pelvis. And exhale, let it go. Lowering everything, maybe moving the hips from side to side. And bringing the palms to ground on either side of the rib cage. And pressing back to sit onto your heels. And from here, crossing the ankles, sitting back onto your sit bones, legs stretched out in front of you. Keeping a bend in the knees if you like. Reach the arms up on an inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Lowering the head. And grabbing on the calves, on the toes, on the sides of the feet, whatever feels good for you. And then rolling up. Bending in the knees and pressing behind you to lift up into a forward fold. Dropping the head, keeping the neck nice and loose, grabbing onto opposite elbows with opposite hands, and just swaying your torso from side to side. And as you're ready, allowing the hands to come to the earth or to just hang and slowly rolling up to standing. So vertebrae by vertebrae, just straightening up, taking your time, allowing your head to be the last thing to lift. And taking a deep breath in and out. Grounding into the four corners of your feet. Maybe bringing the arms out a little ways away from the body, palms facing the front of the mat. And just taking a moment in mountain pose. And on your next inhale, bringing the palms up and overhead to touch. And exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. And then gently, slowly walking the hands out in front of you. And coming into downward dog. Pressing firmly into the fingertips, palms, keeping a slight bend in the elbows if that feels good. And definitely a bend in the knees if your torso is lifting away from the tops of your thighs. And maybe lowering one heel to the ground and bending the opposite leg, and then lowering the other heel to the ground and bending the opposite leg, just pedaling out. And then as you're ready, stepping the right foot forward in between the hands and lowering the left knee and top of the foot. Bringing the right hand on the inside of the right foot and then heel toeing the right foot to the edge of the mat and squaring your hands underneath the shoulders, just stretching into that right hip. Maybe the hands walk out a little step in front of you, finding what feels good, where you can find stability in the pose. Keeping the back leg active to keep pressure off of the left knee. And then bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, heel toeing the right foot in between the hands. And from here, bringing that left foot 90 degrees to the right and walking the hands to the back of the mat. Coming on to the big toe edge of the right foot, grounding in the left hand, and opening up to a side plank, right fingertips towards the sky. And then lowering the right hand to the earth, coming onto the right toes, and then into a three-legged dog. So your left foot is towards the sky, right foot on the earth, pressing back. And then bringing the left foot in between the hands, dropping the right knee and top of the right foot. And bringing the left hand to the inside of the left foot and heel toeing that left foot to the edge of the mat. Maybe keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, maybe bringing them out one step in front of you. Again, finding stability to open up that left hip. Maybe swaying your body weight a little bit from side to side. And again, keeping that back leg active to keep pressure off the right knee. So what does that mean? Maybe pressing into the top of the right foot, lifting from the right thigh. And sending breath to any tension in the body. And then walking the hands back underneath the shoulders, bringing the left hand to the outside of the left foot and walking the left foot back in between the hands. Swinging that right foot 90 degrees to the left and walking the hands to the top of the mat, coming on the big toe edge of the left foot, grounding in the right hand and opening up left fingertips towards the sky to a side plank on the opposite side. And bringing the left hand down to the earth, coming onto the left toes, tucking the left toes, and sending the right leg back and up. And then bringing the right foot to meet the left, taking a second in your downward dog to pedal out once again. And then walking the feet up towards the hands. So taking your time, gently walking the feet forward. And as your feet come to the top of the mat, allowing the head to hang in your forward fold. And on an inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, folding forward. And inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, pulling your hands through heart center. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, fold forward. And bend. Well, first bringing the feet, heel toeing them out about hips width distance. And then sending the hips down, bending in the legs into a squat position. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can bring something to support your hips just right under your sit bones. And you can bring your hands out in front of you if that feels good for your stability. Or you can bring the palms together, pushing your elbows into the sides of your knees. And just take a few breaths here. Again, scanning the body for any tension, anywhere you feel like you are holding or gripping, and see if you can release on an exhale. Releasing the hands And bringing them on the mat behind you, lowering down onto your sit bones, and scooting yourself up to the middle of the mat. So you can come to your back. From here, bringing the soles of the feet to the earth, knees towards the sky, and keeping the feet about hips width distance apart. Palms on the mat, arms at your side. You're going to sing some pelvic movement with your breath. So tilting the hips forward, almost as if you were going to lift your hips off the ground without lifting them off the ground. And then tilting the pelvis back as if you're trying to create a arch in your back, space between your spine and the mat. So that's the movement that we're going to take. So tilting the pelvis back, creating that arch in the back. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis forward as if you were going to lift your hips off the ground without lifting them. Inhale, tilt it forward. And exhale, tilt it back. So you're creating like this rocking motion with the hips and pelvis. Inhale forward. And exhale, tilt it back. And do a couple more at your own pace. Keeping the movements as small or big as feels good. Just bringing that fluidity into the body. One more. And finding a neutral pelvis. And this time on an inhale, lifting the hips up into a bridge pose. Drawing the thighs energetically together. Taking a few breaths here. Tucking your chin to the chest to keep length in the neck. And exhale, release the hips to the ground. Inhale, lift the hips and lift the arms overhead. Exhale, lowering the hips and the arms to your sides. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. And exhale, lower the hips, lower the arms. Let's just do 3 more. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Exhale, lower the hips, lower the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Finding a comfortable position for your low back and extending the legs up towards the sky and flexing in the feet. So I don't know what the name of this is, but one of my yoga teachers did it and I really liked it. So you're going to move one foot towards the back of the mat and the other foot towards the front of the mat, and then alternate. So almost as if you're like skiing on the sky, keeping your feet flexed and just alternating that movement forward and back. And again, keeping the movement as small or big as feels good. Maybe you want to experiment with making your strides much longer or really short. And then gradually drawing the right knee in towards the chest and lowering the left leg to the earth, hugging that right knee in and extending the right arm out to the side as you gently use the left hand to guide the right knee across the body. Finding a twist. Maybe your gaze comes to rest on the right hand, if that's okay for your neck. And then bringing the right knee back up to center, extending it long and drawing the left knee into the chest, hugging it tight just for a second, and then extending the left arm out to the side and using the right hand to guide the left knee across the body. Gaze can come to the left fingertips. And coming back to center, drawing both knees into the chest and grabbing hold of either the sides of your calves or keeping the hands on the knees, or maybe the outside of the feet, and drawing the knees towards the armpits into happy baby. And you can maybe rock from side to side, giving your low back a little massage. And then as you're ready, releasing the legs to extend out in front of you, maybe taking a second to lift the arms overhead and stretch long, or taking any final stretch that you need before we settle into Shavasana. Eventually coming to rest your arms at your side, a little ways away from the body, bringing the feet out about as wide as the mat, just making space for the legs, for the thighs, for the hips. And releasing in the belly, no holding, just allowing the belly to be full and relaxed. And just breathing into this space of integration where you can absorb the practice that you have co-created using your own choice and discernment with the cues that were given. And rest here. Beginning to deepen the breath and bring small movement to the fingers and toes. Taking your time to come onto one side of the body, maybe drawing the knees in to a fetal position. And allowing your head to be the last thing to lift as you push yourself up to a seated position. And as you arrive here, bringing both of your hands to the space of your belly right below your belly button. This is the location of your sacral chakra. The place of your creativity and your creative energy. And again, allowing the belly to just be full and take up space. As you ask yourself, what blocks my creative flow? And what do I want to create in my life? What do I want to create more of? Because truly, it's not a question of if you can, but just what? What do you want? And perhaps that's something that you can contemplate even off the mat as you encounter the realities of your life. Continue to tune into yourself. You will know what blocks you and also what you want, and the path from feeling blocked to in flow will just unfold for you. Bringing the palms together, hands in prayer at your heart center. I thank you for sharing practice with me. Be well.